Good evening, you handsome lot. On the ramp today, I've got a 2010 Audi S3, which is on 111,000 miles, and the clutch is slipping. When the engine gets hot, and you're driving along in third gear, and you're hitting boost, it's slipping. So we're going to get this clutch replaced. First thing we need to do is get inside the car. Now the reason why we're starting off in the car is because we have to take the subframe off. And to take the subframe off, we've just got to disconnect this lower steering column joint. There's a 13mm down the bottom there with a little bit of a plastic trim. Now don't forget, you can pull your key out. But just in case you need to start the car with the subframe off and the steering column disconnected, you do not want to damage the clock spring behind the steering wheel. So just put your seatbelt through your steering wheel and clip it in, and that isn't going anywhere. It's safe. Now we finish inside the car, let's make a start underneath the bonnet. We need to remove the battery, always disconnect it negative first, and get the battery tray out of the way as well. Battery tray is now out of the way. We're starting to make a little bit of a pile over there. Now we do need to disconnect the loom for the steering rack. Now make sure on these type of fuses, as tempting as it is to use your battery ratchets, don't. Because you can fracture them inside and cause all sorts of problems further down the line. With that loom disconnected now, we can take the vehicle up, make sure that you've got the locking wheel nut out of the car. We can go ahead and get the wheels off. Right, now I've got this vehicle fully raised. I have run into a little bit of a problem with ball joints are seizing to the hubs, and I can't be bothered with making it into a big job. So we've just done the bottom arms off the subframe. It's only a couple of bolts, probably take an extra couple of minutes aside. We've disconnected everything now. Tracker ends, anti-roll bar links. I've just got to get now. Is that an 18? Now every bolt that you take out, put them in a position on the side of the vehicle by your ramp, so you know which bolt goes where. Organisation can make a job a little bit easier. I should, I've done everything right. The subframe should have just come off now. Everything's hooked. A little bit, like a simple enough to take off. Look how much room we've got now. Lots of room. I'm not going to lie. I kind of got carried away. You know when you get in the zone and it's just like I'm doing stuff and... But anyway, we've gone ahead. I've removed the transfer box. Now I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, leave it on. It's a couple of bolts. Pull it off. It's out of the way. Makes a line in the gearbox back up when you're installing it later. Anyway, there's a transfer box. Dry shafts. I have gone ahead and I have pulled the bottom arms off because it's just easy and they were out my way. Now I have attached this engine support. Now because there's no subframe on it, it has got an attachment that bolts to the subframe, where the subframe bolts, chain and a metal bar, big bolt in the middle, and that is sturdy. So we go ahead now, I think. Let me get the 22mm on there, wherever it shall be. Where's it gone? Oh, what have I done with it? Oh, okay. You can go ahead and let that down. Now it's down far enough. All the bolts at the top, I have taken the bell housing bolts at the top out, and also the starter motor. Now, the clutch pipe, the clutch fluid pipe, I have put a little bung on the end of it, which is a universal kit, which I'll show you later on in the video. And they're only about £4 off Amazon. But right, we've only got now one bolt there and we can get this gearbox out. Should we go ahead now and get this gearbox out? Providing I've done everything right. Under that bolt, we'll leave that in. We should be able to give it a little bit of a wiggle now. It should pull off. A little bit. Ooh, I haven't got the gearbox supported properly. The gearbox is out, let's get it off. That is one gearbox out. Let's go ahead now and get the clutch plate and pressure plates off. Now, if you have a little look, this is a self-adjusting clutch. You can see that the adjuster, right by there, is all the way out. We can grab a 9mm now, multi-blind socket. Get all these bolts out. I'll tell you what, this little DeWalt gun is absolutely insane. Such a powerful little gun. I've had it almost a month now. I'll tell you what, I would be lost without it. Yeah, thank you. A little bar. Ugh. There we go, that is one clutch off. Now I thought this clutch was going to be worse than what it is. It's not that bad, to be honest. I've seen a lot worse. Like I said, it's not slipping all the time. I think the reason why normally when I see them, they're absolutely toast. Where people just drove them and drove them and drove them until they can't drive anymore. But because this is when the engine's getting hot, and you just as you're coming on to boost, it'll start slipping, the revs start going up. I think the customer has caught it in time before it lets him down. It is just slightly bluish. Now this is an elderly gentleman that drives this car. I think if it would have been somebody with a bit of a heavier right foot, it would have been gone a long time ago. Right, so we go ahead now and get this flywheel off. Right, so we go ahead now and get the concentric slave. Now I have put the gearbox back on the stand and I've also put a little bit of a strap around it so it is nice and secure. Now around the back of the front of the gearbox, there is a little adapter that we just need to take off. Be extra careful with it, and also just be careful that there's no rubber O-rings that pop off, because if they do pop off and you put it back on, it's probably going to leak brake fluid. Now, with that off, we can go ahead. Are they 8 or 10 mils? Let's have a little look. The story of my life, this is looking for sockets. What I need is a big trolley. They're not 10s. Are they 8s? They're going to be 9s, aren't they? 9mm. Here we go, 9mm. Three 9s, and that is out. Anybody else's workshop got somebody that just loves using a hammer for no reason? It's like, oh, let's put a light bulb in. Let's get the hammer out. Bang, bang. I don't know what they tap at all day. Tap, tap, tap. I don't know. Right, let's get the brand new concentric slave on. Now, if you're new to the channel, my preferred clutch set is an LUK. Now, this is a 3-piece clutch set. You get the concentric slave, the clutch plate, and also the pressure plate. Brand new concentric slave. Whatever happens, I know it is tempting. Do not ever squish them in and out because you can damage the seals in them. Just plonk them in. Now these bolts do require a little bit Loctite. And we can get these torqued up to 15 Newton meters. Let's go ahead now and fit the brand new flywheel and of course, brand new bolts with it as well. Well, I put the flywheel on. We torqued them up to 60 Newton meters. Now we do 90 degrees. Now how we do it, to hold the flywheel, get yourself a bolt, the bell housing, goes into the ring gear, and that bolt will then, believe it or not, hold it in place while we go 90 degrees. Now each bolt I have marked them at 12 o'clock, so by the time we finish them all, they should all be facing the right way, if that makes sense. And that is one at 90 degrees. Then we come the opposite side. Again, and we keep on doing it in a star pattern. A little bit, like I can see how all the marks are facing the right way. They have all been done correctly. Right, let's go and get the clutch plate and pressure plate fitted. With these self-adjusting clutches, you have to be extra careful. Because they are self-adjusting, the last thing you want to do when you're tightening it up is setting off the adjuster, because it can be a little bit of a nightmare. Now what you need to do, attach this tool, and this will pull it up dead square. I just pull it up now. Just as it's about to touch the flywheel, you stop a little bit, like that. And now what we do, we can put the other 3 bolts in, and then once we put them on, get them torqued up to, I think, what is it? I can't remember now. Hang on, let's go and have a little look. There's 2 different choices. Whether, oh, that's it, an M6 or an M7. An M6 is 13 and an M7 is 20 Newton meters, and we've got the M7. So we're going to get them torqued up to 20 Newton meters. Everything is now installed correctly. Now, if these little springs are pushed out like that, you've done it wrong and it needs to be reset. Now, there is a procedure to reset them. I'm not going to show you now. I might show you on another video. But anyway, Mr. Zacharuni giving me a message, call attack. Once everything is torqued up, oh, he's ringing me, hang on. Anyway, phone call done. Everything's torqued up on the clutch side. This is why I like to put little red marks and everything, because you know that it's been done, especially if you get interrupted. But anyway, should we go ahead and get this gearbox put back in? Gearbox is now back in, and what we're going to be doing before we go any further, putting the subframe or anything like that on, we're going to give it a good bleed. Now what we're going to be using is a Launch Pro Brake bleeder. Just keep it under 2 bar of pressure. Get your little catch bottle, undo the nipple now. You should see all the air coming out of the system. You can give it a good, I don't know, 20 seconds. You've probably seen the fluid coming a bit cleaner. See how it's nice and clean? Just close it off. And build some pressure up again. Open it up. A little bit more fluid, a little bit more air. Lock it off. Open it again. And keep doing that for a couple of minutes until all that air is out of the system. All bled up. Get on the clutch pedal and make sure we've got a good clutch pedal and there's no restrictions there, because the last thing we want to do is put all this car back together and there'd be something wrong. Well, there shouldn't be anything wrong because we've done everything correctly. Well, this is something that I never do. I've pretty much skipped pretty much to the top, and now everything underneath is done. Now we are up against the clock. Now it is 5 to 5, and this is something that I never ever do, is stop behind and get a job done. But I'm that busy, if I don't do it now, it is going to ruin the rest of the week's jobs. So I think I'm going to I've got top to put on now, battery tray, gear linkages, engine cover, and then the steering column. And then we should be good to go. There we have it. That car is now ticking over, and we're now 5:15. We ain't done bad. We've even had time to clean the engine bay as well. We've literally just started it. Yeah. Right, should we take it down the road for a little bit of a drive? Well, I'll tell you what, this car drives reasonably nice, to be honest with you. There's not a rattle in it. I have looked after this car for quite some years, and I remember years ago I used to do a little bit of bodywork, and I did. Let's give it a good pull. No clutch slip in there, is there? Anyway, as I was saying, I used to do a tiny little bit of bodywork, and I repaired the passenger rear quarter panel because it was all stoved in. But yeah, that is one clutch and flywheel replacement on an 2010 Audi S3. I'm going to take it back to the workshop now and sign this car off as job done. Job is a good one. Can't get my words out. It's been a long day. If you've made it this far in the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I will definitely see you on the next one. Let's get it in.